So this is the TP-Link Archer VR600 version 3, which has AC2100 wireless MU-MIMO VDSL ADSL modem router. That's the all-in-one modem router. Basically this thing supports a 35B network, like a VDSL profile. So if you have like a 200 megabit per second network, it supports it. And yeah, it has a DSL port, 4 gigabit RJ45 ports. It has also, it seems that it could also connect into a fiber modem, and you can connect like a 4G dongle or a backup or just an external hard drive basically. So yeah, I'm going to be installing this into my home network. I've been wanting to get a TP-Link router for a while now, and I thought, why not get like a modem plus a router, like all together, save the space and all that. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do right now. Is I'm going to unbox it, install it, configure it, and we'll see it together. So once you open the box, you get the like installation guide. You get the router modem right there. You get like a Wi-Fi info card, like your like if you want to keep your password or whatnot. I don't know why would anyone would do that. Quick installation guide. You get an RJ45. I think it's a category 6, gotta be. Cat 6? No, Cat 5e. That's fine. I mean, that'll do. Would have been nice to get like a Cat 6, but it's alright. Doesn't really matter for the user using it. You get your power cord, 3 antennas, like the ADSL cable from one point to another, and another one. You get 2 of them, 2 pairs, and you get like a VDSL splitter. And that's basically it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to, well, first let's take a look on the router right here. So here we have the TP-Link VR600 V3 AC2100. Yeah, it looks just like your standard VR600, just like the others. Also, the others would have like the USB right on the back here, but over here in this model, it's on the side. Yeah, so basically I'm going to install it right now. I'm going to plug it in, configure it, and we'll check it out. So yeah, let's see. And as you can see, the TP-Link VR600 V3 is installed. It works perfectly. I have configured everything. We'll go over the router page in a second, but basically this is what it looks like when it's installed. Everything is light on, like all the LED indicators are pretty lit. You can see that clearly, and that's the power LED indicator that the router is on. I haven't tried to connect like a USB storage device or dongle yet, but I will do that later. But for now, this is pretty much it. It works pretty well. Now let's go over into the router settings, the router page settings, and we'll see how it looks like.
So basically this is what the TP-Link VR600 V3 router page looks like. You get the default address, which is 192.168.1.1, and you're facing the main page right here, the network map, how it looks like. You got like your IP address and all that, the provider, wireless details of your network. The one mesh configuration, you can set like one mesh through here. You got your guest network, USB sharing. This is where you would plug your USB device or a 4G dongle, basically. You have your parental controls and the IPTV if you want to connect like an IP television, like a smart TV. You got your TP-Link cloud. It takes a little bit to load, but you need to have a user basically. And over here you have the quick setup if you want to set up your router quickly. I guess. You have the advanced tab right here, which shows the absolute every little option that you have on the router to do. You have logout, reboot. Operation mode is where you would configure this router to work as either as a DSL modem router or a 3G, 4G router, or a wireless router mode like an access point, something like that. And network tab has your internet interface. You can add it like, put your your ISP settings basically. Your Lan settings would be where you would choose like either to work with IPv6 or IPv4. Obviously, most of the ISPs would work with IPv4 for now, until V6 will become more popular. You have the default this is where you would set up your default gateway, basically your DHCP server, where basically your interface would be right here. This is where you would access this address, and you have your DHCP server. You can configure which addresses you want to your devices to have. I selected mine from 5 to 199, and the default gateway is obviously the 11 at the end, and these are all my devices right here. And I have two devices of mine in address reservation because I don't want them to have a dynamic IP. I want them to have a static IP, to have a reserved IP basically. Over here we have an interface grouping, DSL settings, dynamic DNS. This is where I put my user, my no IP user. That way I don't have to use a static IP. I could just use a dynamic DNS, and I don't have to pay for a public static IP basically. Static routing. You have IPv6 tunnel. Again, we go through the IPTV. The wireless settings is basically what we showed a while ago. Your wireless, if you want to start a WPS connection, wireless schedule, statistics, advanced settings, one mesh again, guest network. Net forwarding would be where you would forward your ports. You got LAG protocols, PPT, pass-through L2TP, pass-through IPsec, FTP, ALG, TFTP, ALG, all these good stuff. Now, the virtual server is basically when you forward your port, like your ports. I already have mine, like RDP port, forward to one of my machines. It's already configured. Port triggering, I don't have anything here for now. DMZ, I don't use DMZ. UPnP service list, obviously I don't use that. Service filtering, this is where you filter every service that you don't like. Access control, this is basically shows you which device, what kind of devices you have inside your network, and you can, if somebody managed to get inside your network, you can somehow like hack through your wireless password or whatnot. You could decide if you want to block the MAC address of the device that got in, basically, so you won't let them get into your network anymore. IP and MAC binding. This is where you would bind like IP addresses with MAC addresses basically. IPv6 firewall, you have VPN built in into the router here, OpenVPN, PPT VPN, IPsec VPN, and you get all the VPN connections. It's pretty useful if you use these kind of things. System tools have the time settings, LED control, like you can turn off the LED indicators on your router. Diagnostics, if you have any problems, the router will try to troubleshoot it. This is where you would have the firmware upgrades. I already upgraded my router to the latest version. Your firmware is up to date. Backup and restore. This is where you would back up or restore your settings. Reboot. This is where you would reboot your router. You could schedule a reboot on your router, so that's pretty useful. Administration. This is where you would change your password or have a local management. You can use that to log in through a different computer locally, or remote management, like if you use it outside of the network. You could set up your, like I can see that it has my dynamic DNS over there, so basically I could access this router through the dynamic DNS if I'm like in a different network, but I'm not gonna turn it on because it's not safe. All sort of certificates here, pings, all that good stuff. CWMP settings, I'm not too sure about these, but yeah, I'm not gonna mess with that. SNMP agent and traffic monitor. This is what you would get in the system tools. This is pretty much it. Overall, this router is pretty good, and you can, one more thing about this screen that I forgot to mention, you could start your speed test. It has a built-in speed test built into the router. There you go, with test your speed basically. But yeah, this is pretty much it. I mean, it's a good router, pretty useful. There are a lot of great features in here that I'm going to use, obviously, and yeah, all in all, it's totally recommended if you have an old network like I do, and you're not like completely, well, even if you had like a fiber optics network, this router would still be relevant and it would still perform great. So I would recommend it all around, and the interface is pretty good. The settings here are pretty useful. So yeah, I would totally recommend this router. So yeah, this has pretty much been my video about the TP-Link VR600 V3. If you want to see more videos, make sure you stay tuned to my channel, subscribe and whatnot, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.